Nothing irks me more than the fantasy or like the worship of the starving artist. The artist who's just like, I make art. I am an artist. Like I don't get appreciated by society because of commercialism and capitalism. And it's like literally like these people are like so excited to be starving artists. It's like a badge of honor. And yet when people showcase, hey, there are ways in that you can make money with your art, they're just like, no, like I'm not selling my soul. I'm not a car salesman. Uh, I'm not gonna do that. I have integrity. That shit annoys me so much, and so we're gonna showcase a Twitter thread of this happening, and it's with one of the usual suspects in the community, and but yeah, let's get into it real quick though. Real quick though, go check out My Sexy Witch Academia, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, a magical NSFW story. Yes, is the only story that I do that actually has NSFW content inside the book. It is rated M. I am going to create special My Sexy Witch Academia volumes that have censored material for people who like just aren't into that stuff. But if you don't mind it, in this particular series, go check this out. Link in the description. Okay, so let's get into this. So my friend Jordan Allen, fantastic creator, he puts this on Twitter. If you want to make serious money, get good and fast at writing web novels. Now, what's he's talking about? What are web novels? Basically, there's an online community of people who want to read digital novels, and how these people get into these series is that they're either reading daily or weekly chapter updates. Now, if you're a writer, you sit down, you write your chapter, you write your book, and you can create an audience around these releases. Same thing how like comic creators are building audiences through like webtoons and Tapastic, and then after that they bring them over to their Patreon. Web novelists can do the exact same thing. And so Jordan Allison isn't just some guy who's just putting this out there. Okay, he not only does he talk the talk, he's walking the walk. He's put out several books. I mean, look how thick these books are, and you can see you put some on Amazon. You can check these books out on Amazon. This like he didn't pay me to do this promo, but I just want to show you guys like that Jordan knows what it's like to write constantly and to create a fan base and make sales. And so all Jordan is saying is like, hey, if you want to make money, get good and fast at writing web novels. And then he goes in, he's talking about how these people are putting out, daily or weekly chapters. And then they're pushing people over to their Patreons, where if they subscribe for like 10 to 20 bucks a month, that they can get like additional chapters or behind the scenes stuff. And then you can make good money, which is fantastic. Like that's very solid advice. And not a lot of creators, when they're getting into this biz, know that. And they don't even know like the places that they can do this. I mean, like Substack has a huge reader community that you could do this on. You can do this on Kindle Unlimited. There's a whole, Wattpad. There's a whole bunch of other places that you can build an audience. And so this is fantastic, just advice. And like, who doesn't want to make money off of their creations? Like people who say they don't want to make money off of their creations are lying. Like they are absolutely lying. Anyways, we've got the usual suspect Godfo coming in here, all high and mighty with a stick up his ass saying, I'd rather make art. Like my biggest problem with Godfo is he doesn't know how to use the internet. So when he's like, so everything that he says just comes off as smug and kind of dickish. So I'd rather make art, which Jordan, then goes, you can do both. Writing speed is a trainable skill, and many web novelists use their serialization as a way of getting feedback. They edit things and tighten it up for the retail release. Godfo, you can try to do both. Writing speed is a skill, but so long as cash is your goal, you will make sacrifices for it. Jordan, that depends on whether what you want to write fits with the market, or if what you write is a hit with readers regardless of current trends. There are plenty of web novelists who just write what they feel like and end up on significant money, even if they are at the top. Godfo, We've now moved on from money as a motivator versus art as a motivator to what you want to write as a motivator. This is how this conversation usually goes. This topic comes up every few months, and it starts with make lots of stuff to make money, and usually devolves into art being subjective, and nothing matters anyway except money. And like, here's the problem. Like, Godfo is always like, it's all about the art. What I'm putting out is art. It's gotta last more than me. When I die, it's gotta like last longer than me. Like, he thinks that he's like putting out like Tolkien level stuff, but there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money with your stories. You know, I was listening to a podcast with Sean Gordon Murphy and I think one of the guys at Ink Pulp. And the guy on Ink Pulp says he's talking about how he put out this book. He goes through the synopsis with Sean Gordon Murphy, and he says that the book didn't sell very well. So Sean Gordon Murphy goes, you know, like, did you ever think of maybe adding this element? Because if you had added this element, it might have sold more. And the artist was like, I could have, but I didn't want to. I wanted to keep like my vision. And the thing about that was frustrating about the conversation, which Sean Gordon Murphy pointed out, was he was like, yeah, but like, you spent the last 30 to 40 minutes complaining that you're making no money, that you have no sales, and that you're struggling to get gigs. When in reality, if you would just compromise a little bit of your artistic vision and maybe create something that is for a wider audience, you will get more sales. But to someone like Godfo and these creators who wear their starving artist like badge of honors, they'll say like, no, if you sacrifice your integrity for your art, then what you have made is not art. And it's such a frustrating conversation to have with these people. Now, author Timo Burnham comes in and says, bro, well, here's the thing. Anytime someone tries to refute Godfo, all he does is say co-partner. So he never is able to argue his points back on Twitter, which is, you know, frustrating. But author Timo is just like basically says like, I'd rather, you know, calling him out, I'd rather make art after I'd rather make art, motherfuckers, after 5 years of insane work, 0 readers, and negative $5,000, and everyone's just crying. And then Godfo's typical response is like co-partner, you know, which is, you know, I just like, and here's the thing. He's always, you know, there's nothing wrong with making money off of your art. Godfo is constantly trying to sell us his books. Like, he is constantly trying to sell us his books. They don't sell a lot. And is that because because he has integrity? Do his books sell less because at least he has integrity? I don't know. I would actually love to talk with Godfo. I really would. He probably has me blocked. I would love to discuss this like notion of why it's wrong to want to make money with your art. And why, like, because you want to make money with your art, that means that you don't have integrity. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. We live in a capitalist commercial society. Okay. Michelangelo, he got paid to do the Sistine Chapel. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, look at these artists. He was paid to do that. Okay. All these people that we revere, they were paid to make the art that we revere. So author Timo goes, bro wants to take my joking super seriously, so here's a serious take. The vast majority of writers saying they are okay with making no money because they are doing it for the sake of the arts are coping. If you gave them the choice of being able to write stories and make a living off of it, or to make no money but have their work recognized as art in some way, they would take the money, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Then I really like this response by sci-fi author James Craig. The bigger cope is thinking the path to money is merely selling out your integrity. Now, there is something that I do want to kind of, this idea that I want to explore that author Timo brings up, because what they're saying is that if the writer was given the opportunity to make money, that they would take it. I do disagree with it though, because I have met plenty. When I worked at a publishing house, I worked for a book publisher for 5 years, and I met a lot of really cool authors, a lot of really cool creators, and you could see that there were two camps of creators. There was a camp that loved creating, and the results that they wanted from their love of creation was money. That's probably the camp that I'm in. I love creating, and the result that I would like to get from my love of creating is money. The other camp was that the result that they wanted from their love of creating was praise and accolades. So I have a friend, and he was like, I don't care if I ever make money off of this book that I'm writing, but if I got this award, this recognition, even if I made no money, but I was praised and was given these accolades, that would be worth it. And I think it's interesting because you now get into like a discussion on like creativity. And the reason why I want to define these two camps in the way I did is because both camps love creating. It's just, what's the result that they want? So Godfo, the result that he wants from his creation is the accolades, the praise of this is art, whatever that subjective feel is. You know, I hate it when people are like, God, like art isn't subjective, it's objective. It's like, I've seen people say that this art is good and it's shit. I don't like it. So art is subjective. What moves you and what gives you a reaction to a specific piece of art might not give the same specific reaction to someone else. But regardless, there are two camps of creators who the result that they want to have from the work, from creating stuff that they love, is either accolades or money. And when you look at someone like Jordan Allen, I can't speak for him, but like from the discussions that I've had with him, I feel like he's in my camp where like we love creating. We love telling stories. Like that's what gets us to like wake up every single day and be putting out these series, to be creating nonstop. And the result that we want is money. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to sell my stuff. On the other hand, you'll have creators like Godfo who want the praise and accolades, and they want their stuff to be quote unquote like stand the test of time and to be considered art. So I don't necessarily agree with author Timo's assessment on if writers would take it, because I really don't think I really believe that someone like Godfo would say no to the money, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that us as creators need to realize that we're all different. Like this is why, like when you have like the writer versus artist like debates, like the reason why that debate is eternal is because you're going against two people who have completely different skill sets, motives, and frustrations, and they will never quote unquote understand each other because of those differences. Same thing with these types of creators, where it's like what the results of their creation, like they're always gonna butt heads, because on the one end, the creators who are like, I'm gonna put out a ton of work, I'm gonna work on my craft, I'm gonna hustle so I can get that money, are always gonna be looked down upon by those who are like, I see my stuff as art, and therefore I will wear this the starving artist as a badge of honor because I got to keep my integrity. In which case, then the other side will go like, well, I'm working just as hard, like I have integrity, and then they'll go, no, you don't, because mine's art and yours is not. And they're just gonna like fundamentally, they're not gonna get along. This is why, like I like a lot of the people, the creators that like have hated me, is because I'm so outspoken on the fact that I'm a very big believer in business and marketing. Creators naturally don't gravitate towards this stuff. They don't gravitate towards business and marketing and sales. They just want to create. And so I understand why a lot of creators like dislike me, because like I am their enemy. Like I am like the thing that they like they don't like. And yet here I am making comics while none of them are making comics anymore now. But you know, like that, and here's the thing: it's okay to be in your camp, and that's why these conversations are always gonna like go back and forth. Like they can drive both sides crazy. Like I don't think I'll ever agree with Godfode's side of like I will just make art. Like I don't think I'll ever agree with that, because it's saying like what you so you're saying that like what Jordan's making isn't art, all of that work and none of that's art. And then he's gonna be like, well, what is art? And it's just like, man, like these guys, it's just like, I don't know. To me, like, respectfully, you can have your opinions, but in my opinion, I'm just like, bro, you're just masturbating on yourself. And you're just like, what is art? It's like, bro, just make art. I don't know. Everyone takes this shit so seriously, and like, guys, let's just have a silly goose time. That's all. Like, this is comics. We're making comics. Like, none of this is serious, and yet, like, we're having these discussions of like, oh, is my book gonna transcend time? Is it gonna change the world? It's like, buddy, you can't even get more than 10 people to read your book. So no, it's not gonna transcend time. Like, we're lucky to get it to transcend the post office to someone's hands. Like, that's step number one. Like, don't worry about transcending time. Worry about just your distribution and how you can get it into more hands. So, all right, guys. My Sexy Witch Academia number 1, 2, 3, and 4 is currently out on Kickstarter. You have 23 days probably from the time of this recording. Go check it out. Link in the description. You guys rock. Peace.